Hello, friends of the channel. Welcome back. Thought I'd try something a little bit different today. I've done this once before. Thought it turned out pretty fun, and I thought I'd try it again. So what I've got today is several different figures from different lines, from different companies that I just wanted to open up. None of these figures would necessarily get their own video, but I'm gonna, obviously I purchased them on my own. I'm gonna open them anyways. I thought it might just be fun to do that on camera, start a conversation, give you my thoughts, and talk about it. So let's get to it.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right, guys. So here are the figures I thought we'd open up today, and just do a comparison, a discussion, just kind of talk about it. We've got the DC Spin Masters Lex Luthor. I've got the Jazzwares Fortnite Isabelle. I've got the Hasbro Star Wars Vintage Collection Hunter. I've got a Joy Toy World War II Soviet Officer. And lastly, I've got this, it's also Hasbro, like the Star Wars figure. I've got a G.I. Joe Lonzo Stalker Wilkinson. This was originally a Walmart exclusive, that I know Big Bad has got some now. It's a discontinued line, but you can see here I did find it at Ross, and I got it for $3.99. In fact, let's start with this one because it's sort of the oldest one here, I think, and it's probably the most common. Now, I picked this up because I'm a big G.I. Joe fan, and I have been customizing. I pretty much buy this figure whenever I find it. And I've stopped finding it now for quite a while because they're no longer in the stores. But obviously Ross got some, and I know they're at Big Bad, and I think for $3.99, which is what I paid for this figure, it's a really good deal. So this is the only one here on the table that I have opened before, and I will show you what I've been doing with them. I've been slowly swapping out their heads and their weapons with Marauders Task Force figures, and making a custom army. Now, I do really like this packaging. I wish that they would have stayed with this. The cards were a little bit too flimsy though, and being very limited, it was sort of a limited run. I don't think they did more than 10 figures or so of this line before they discontinued it. And now Hiya Toys, has the line. But I do like the card art and the logo, the red, white, and blue. I love the cross sell here and the file cards. And overall, some of these figures, they were a miss, and some of them were pretty good. I thought the Destro was really good. This figure is pretty good. Trying to think of some of the other ones. I never got the Grunt. I never could find the Grunt. The Roadblock was a miss. He didn't have articulated ankles. You can see this one, they did come with a stand. It did have a lot of weapons. It's got a pistol and a knife there I'll have to get out in a second. But overall, the articulation on this figure is pretty good. He does have the rocker ankles. He is a little bit beefed up, a little bit bigger than the 25th anniversary stuff, or the Power of the Force, the Pursuit of Cobra stuff. Very similar, to what we used to get, but different. The plastic they use, I noticed, is a little bit softer. I like the Cobra Troopers. There was a Cobra Trooper and a Cobra Officer that I liked a lot, and I tried to, just like this guy, whenever I find it, I try to buy it. So after I found this guy at my local Ross, I have been checking out the Ross looking for more, because I have seen people finding, this line there at Ross, but I've only ever found this one. But overall, he's a pretty good figure. I did have, and I could show you, I did have one of these guys, the arm here broke, the peg. So you got to be a little bit careful with these guys. I think the plastic that they use was a little bit soft. And it's not quite as good as the Star Wars Vintage Collection stuff. But the articulation's not bad. Accessories are okay. This guy, he comes with the traditional machine guns, submachine guns that he had, the O-ring version sort of back in the 80s. These are just kind of the modern takes on them. I don't really care for them. So I've been switching out all of these guys with Marauders guns. In fact, before we go any farther, let me show you one of them. All right, so here is the figure I just opened up, and this is the gun I'm swapping out with Marauders for all of these guys. It's just like your classic M16, I think. Here is another one. This is the same exact figure that I've had. And then here is one that I custom with some Marauders stuff. It's actually a Marauders beret. And then I used a, what's his name? Falcon, Marvel Universe. I had an extra head from him, and I put him on there. I did glue the beret on. You can see the beret is a little bit different. It does have a little red emblem there on the front, but to me it works. So this is kind of what I've been doing to these guys. New gun, new head, new beret. And that's probably what I'll do to this guy. I'm trying to think. The other one I did was I used the Marlon Wayne's head from one of the Rise of Cobra figures. Because, you know, his complexion, he is an African-American guy. I've been mostly using African-American guys. But I did have a plan to use a white guy. But you'll have to switch out the hands and paint the neck. So it's just easier to use an African-American, buck. So I've got a few Marauders, African-American guys. I didn't have them nearby. I just had these two next to me, so I thought I'd show you. So this is just a standard buck, just like that one that I just opened, and here's one that I did customize a bit. So I'm more of a kit bash customizer. Try not to paint if I don't have to. Oh, and this is the one with the broken arm. I could tell instantly. Yeah, so I had to glue that arm in straight. It did bust. And I'll probably be gluing this magazine into the M16. I did buy a whole bunch of green berets, a whole bunch of M16s, and I think 3 more heads, because I think I have about 3 or 4 more of these guys. So I'm building out a little squad of green berets, but they're all African American guys at this point. But I probably will be doing trying to paint one of them, the neck at least, and then swapping out hands and using a head. But I do like to glue that beret on there. So it's a good figure. I know a lot of people weren't happy with him, hence why the line died so quickly. But I think it was also because it was limited to Walmart only, and they only released like 2 or 3 figures at a time. And I think in the end, they only did about 10, if I remember correctly. There's not that many of them. But overall, it's a good figure. I like it, and it's definitely worth $3.99 if you can find it at your local Ross. All right, so that's that figure. Let's open up this Star Wars The Vintage Collection Hunter figure now. Okay, here is Hunter out of package, and I could say right away, this is a great little figure. He, just like the Stalker, the Hasbro, they did give a lot of accessories. He came with a knife, a pistol, 2 rifles, and a stand. And this Hunter, he came with a removable helmet, removable backpack, a knife, this pistol, and this rifle. So, they didn't cheap out on the accessories for these figures. I know Hasbro gets a lot of blowback, and sometimes, rightfully deserved. But they've been hitting really good with the vintage collection stuff lately. And this is a great little figure. And he is little, he is 3.75. Star Wars Vintage Collection is, one of the only lines that is still 375, where everyone else has sort of gone to the full 118 4-inch. But, they are still compatible vehicle-wise, especially the females that are, smaller. But this is a great little figure. He does have these shoulder pads that don't hinder his articulation. Can get up in a really good high pose. This one has the new ball-jointed hips. So Vintage Collection's really stepped it up lately. This is, I have to say, one of the better ones this year. The Cad Bane and the Paz Vizsla are, I think, the 2 best Vintage Collection figures, in my opinion, this year. And this guy's right in there. You can see the tattoo. His face. It's very nice. This is a very nice figure, guys. Right out of the package, you know, he's got the rocker ankle. Easily move it about. Got the new helmet. Boom. Helmet looks a little big, though. I'll say a little big. You know, comparatively, it does look a little big. But I can overlook that because of how nice it's painted, how, you know, the design and everything of it. Got a nice little crunch there. You don't get a lot out of that crunch, but this is a good figure, guys. This is a really good figure. I think what's really hurting, well, what hurts this figure, it really has nothing to do with the figure. It has to do with he doesn't have a team. You know, they've given us one. You know, just like they gave us the one Knight of Ren. You know, you got one Knight of Ren. Without the rest of the knights, or this guy without, you know, the rest of the team, it's hard, you know, to even take photos with him, you know, if he's on, unless he's on some kind of a solo mission, you know. And but now that we have this buck, I mean, I could see maybe we'll get, you know, a Crosshair before he went bad, or Tech. You know, obviously, Omega and Wrecker, they're going to have to be completely different sculpts. But maybe we could get some of the other teams. I don't think they've even pipelined any of the rest of this team yet, which is a shame. It does have this cool little knife. It is a two-tone. Nice little metal, little gray handle. Fits right in to his sleeve there. And it's not going to fall out. It does only have one trigger finger. I wish he had two, because he, you know, he does have two guns. Can't really hold that one that well in that hand, but he can hold it perfectly in the other. And same thing with the pistol here. Is a bit loose. It does look like he has hinged wrists, and up and down and in and out. So very good figure, very good figure. The last couple vintage collection figures, you know, that I've opened, and now that I have this guy out, I'm thinking, you know what, I probably could have done a video on this guy. He's that good. He's that good. He probably could have got his own video. Maybe that was a mistake on my part. But this is a good figure. I think that just the miss here is he doesn't have a holster, and he only has one trigger hand. Two trigger hands, then he could double fist with the guns, and then he would basically have all of his, he could carry everything. And that's what I really like, you know, is for a figure to be able to carry all of their accessories at one time. But you can definitely get this guy in some dynamic poses. He's a good figure, very good figure. So let's set him off to the side here, this pistol, and on to the next figure. Okay, we're going to open the Spin Master Lex Luthor figure next. I decided to do this one on camera because it does have some sort of, what do you call it, mystery sort of accessories here. So I don't know what is in here. We'll find out sort of together. We'll be surprised together. So we've got 3 of them here. Okay, okay, not too bad. Looks like we've got a metallic looking purple axe. Some kind of arm, also metallic purple, kind of arm piece. Fits over his hand. And then maybe the better one, he's got this backpack, sort of Gatling gun looking thing. So a nice green metallic. So that's cool. Does look a little bit small on the axe there, the handle. And that's probably just so it would fit in that little space there. Alright, so let's rip this guy open. Alright, here is Lex Luthor out of package. He's got a nice face sculpt there. Blue eyes. Nice profile. But I could see right away, you know, in the package, maybe it was the glare off of the packaging. He's not as metallic as I thought he was or would be, like this gun is very green metallic. I think that's showing up on the camera. But his chest here is not. It looks like these upper thigh parts are, and maybe, yeah, maybe even, well, you could see there, I don't know how well that's showing up. This arm looks nice, green, metallic, shiny. This one's sort of a matte. And his back, his chest here is also matte. And here, it's not quite as metallic as I hoped. Now, this is a Spin Master figure, and he's not going to have the range of motion and articulation that these two have here. But as far as I know, for me, this is the only Lex Luthor at this scale in this armor. Well, let's say this is the most modern Lex Luthor in the battle suit armor, which is basically like Iron Man, right? Like Tony Stark. I always wondered why he didn't have a helmet on in this suit, because he needs it. So he doesn't have, he has ball hinged shoulders and elbows, single elbow with a spin. He does have ball jointed hips and a thigh swivel and a single ball hinged knee, but you can't get much out of it. Nothing in the ankles, nothing in the wrists. And the biggest thing for me is nothing in the waist at all. There's a solid piece here. Now this is if you could find it at retail, it took me forever. I actually ordered this off of Amazon. I got it for 20 bucks. They should be $7.99 to $8.99 if you could find them. And they do get clearance quite a bit. This was sort of the last one I wanted or needed, I thought. They've teased a Brainiac figure a long time ago that I've still never seen. But they had it at one of the toy shows a long time ago, along with this one. And it seems to be the only one that they haven't released yet. And they've sort of moved on more to movie figures. But this guy's not bad. He's not bad. I think he's going to photograph really well if I took photos with him, because he is such a contrast. And he looks like he is more 375 than actually. No, he's a good 118. He's a good 4 inches. But he's not bad. I think this pack looks pretty. There we go. That's pretty cool. Be pretty loud next to your ear, but that looks pretty cool. Don't know so much about this. This is one of my biggest problems with these figures, and this one doesn't seem to have it. They seem to have finally solved the problem. The hands are way oversized, except for on the female figures, especially in the first few waves. But I know it was to hold these large accessories, because this is a kid line. This is, I'm a collector and I do collect them. I'm very picky about which one of these Spin Master ones that I do get. I don't get all of them. But I always thought the hands were way too oversized, but it's because they wanted to, give you all these accessories, and the hands have to be a certain size in order to accept or hold the accessories. This one finally seems to be more in line with a real figure, a regular figure. I thought that was probably the worst part about the Superman and the Shazam and those figures. But this one seems to be, they seem to have corrected that. And I do really like the sculpt of this figure. I think if it was more metallic, maybe I can put a shine on this. And that would change it. I might be able to do that because this is a solid piece with no articulation, no moving parts. It might be fairly easy to do that. In fact, I might try it. This isn't the most expensive figure or anything, even at 20 bucks that I paid. I buy Acid Rain, I buy Joy Toy. This vintage collection figure I think was $16.99, which is what the vintage collection goes for now. So this wasn't much more. I could always get another one if I messed it up. But I am having a little bit of trouble. This is a really hard plastic. I can't seem to get his hand to open up enough to get that axe in there. Not that I would really use that axe with him, but I thought it would be kind of cool to show him with all of his stuff. I probably wouldn't display with that either, or use it with that either. But this gun on the side, I think I will. But yeah, it just pegs right in the back. Overall, this is a pretty good figure. If I was a kid, I would like this guy. I would like him. He's got just enough. That's the thing with the Spin Master stuff. They have just enough articulation, but if they could just get a few more points, say ankles, or that ab crunch. That would, I think, really push this line into more people's eyes, more collectors, and people wouldn't just see this as a kids line. But it is. But I see a lot of potential there. I do hope that they keep pumping out figures. The thing that I really like about this line is that they do vehicles. You know, Batwings, Batmobiles, the Hawk Cruiser, things like that. And because that's one of the great things about this scale that we collect is the vehicles, the playsets, the opportunity, the potential to do those things. I'm having a little bit of trouble standing him. You can see he's a little loose here on the hip, which I'm not used to. He does want to kind of fall back. Maybe if I lean him forward a little bit and bend him at the knee, we can get him to stand. There we go. All right. So that is the DC Spin Master Lex Luthor. Okay, let's open up this Joy Toy World War II Soviet officer figure. And I will say that out of all the figures that we're looking at, this is the only one that comes with the collector-friendly packaging. I mentioned in the whole video that I showed you guys this guy. I did get him off AliExpress. I got one for $17 and I got one for $19. So I do have two of these. And let's get him out of the box. And he looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. It does come with this. Looks like he's got a hat, a pistol, a bag, and some binoculars. Just kind of dump him out here. We'll be putting this guy back in the package when I'm done. I do save my Joy Toy boxes. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Got a nice face sculpt on him. Pretty cool uniform. The workable holster. Must have that pistol inside of there. Let's see, this arm feels a little bit tight. I can't lift it up actually. Yeah, this one seems okay, but this one seems a little tight. Let's go yeah, we went the other way. Didn't want to go that way though. There it goes. Now it is. All right, but I want to get that pistol out of there. Let's see. Oh, okay. So it's got a little. Wow, this arm, there it goes. That arm is really stiff there. Gotta be careful with the Joy Toys. It does have this little pouch here. Little opening. Yeah, let's get that pistol out of there. It's in there really good. Not used to struggling getting the gun out. Might have to pause the video to get that out. But let's see, he's got a nice little hat here. Fits right on. Oh, doesn't want to stay though. It's a little loose. Huh. Alright, so that's disappointing. He's got this little hat, but it doesn't really want to stay on. It doesn't fit firmly. Yeah, that arm just doesn't want to go down very easy. I'll have to heat that up a little bit, even over time. But the other one feels great. Looks like he's got an open hand and a trigger finger hand. Here's his satchel or his bag. Pretty basic. Looks like leather. Looks nice. Got some binoculars. They fit right around his head. Yeah. And that's probably why he's got that open hand, so he can hold those. Put his finger there. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. I just can't get that. Let's move that arm around again. Just can't get that pistol out of there. Let me pause this and see if I can get that pistol out. All right, so I got the pistol out. I did have to get a pair of tweezers to slide the gun out because it was in there pretty good. And there it is. So you can see it there. It's a nice little pistol. Not much to it. It's a solid black. A little bit of sculpting in there. Does fit his hand well though, and his finger does go through the trigger guard pretty well. I guess it's just that his hat, his hat won't really stay on him. But let's get everything on him. Maybe I should put that under. Probably keep it from flying around. There we go. Yeah, so he's got the binoculars, the satchel, he's got the pistol in hand. It's just the hat doesn't want to stay on. Probably put a little blue tack underneath that and stick it right on there. It's actually a pretty good figure. I definitely think it's worth, 17 bucks. And since it's Joy Toy, it does have some swappable parts on it if you choose to go that route. He did just fall over there. But yeah, I think it's just the hat. The hat is a little bit too large, I guess I was going to say misshapen, but it's the right shape, but it's just a little too big. But it's cool. It's a nice little figure. I don't have a lot of World War II style stuff. But I think this uniform, minus the hat, it almost just looks like a desert sort of camo. I don't think it's obvious that it's Russian, at least to me. So I could see fitting this into my military stuff. Does look like the belt holster is a separate piece. But yeah, that's a good little figure. This is a nice little figure. I'm glad I got him. Glad I took a chance on him. And I do think he's worth what I paid for. So let's sit him right. Let's scoot all these guys down, and we're down to our last figure. It's the Fortnite Jazzwares Isabelle. All right, guys, here's Isabelle from Fortnite Spin Master. I did scratch off this thing. It was quite messy. I don't know if anybody is into this thing, but you're welcome to use that. If you're the first one watching, if you've watching the video this long, maybe you deserve this. Feel free to use that if you want. That thing was really messy. It got everywhere. Kind of regretted scratching it off once I did. This figure is pretty good. It's weird. She feels a little bit stiffer than I'm used to with Fortnite figures. Can you hear that? Just a little bit stiffer than I'm used to. In fact, I can't bend this elbow. It feels like it's gonna break, but this one bent fairly easy. She's got a great face sculpt. Fortnite, I think, you get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. Like the diversity of characters, the articulation, and the cost make this line one of the best 118 lines out there. And the fact that usually you can find figures, it's been tough this year finding new figures at your local brick and mortar stores like Target and Walmart. This figure is nice. She's got some good old-fashioned sculpted weapons, some grenades, a knife. Looks like something else there, maybe a different type of grenade or something. It is a softer plastic on this belt and this knife too. Her shoulder pads here limit how high her arms can go, but I still like them a lot. She's a really cool design. I don't know anything about the character. This was her other piece. Just kind of cool. Might be able to use this for something else. Cut out that ball there maybe, or maybe this is, I'm not sure. I forgot what these are called, harvesters. Sometimes they come with like swords or pickaxes or, different weapons. This one is one I couldn't really use. I'll probably give her, I think she's going to go in my sci-fi world, so I'm probably going to give her some kind of a blaster. And this cape is really nice. It's a really soft kind of rubbery plastic, and her hood is made out of the same material. It does look like it can go back a little bit. She does have a hole in the back of her head, but you can see her face is a little more exposed now. This is a good little figure. I did find most of the wave, or this wave, I did find at my local Walmart. And this Fusion, I have him in black and blue, and he's really good. I didn't really care for this version, though, this white and black version. And I passed on these other three guys. She was the one that I wanted most. And in that wave, I probably won't get any more of that wave, but hopefully they'll keep pumping out these figures. I think they're a really good deal. I'm just really, picky about which ones I get. It has to kind of fall into one of the universes or worlds that I'm sort of collecting. So either fantasy, sci-fi, or military. And I could see this one sort of crossing over into military or sci-fi. Not so much fantasy because she does have some grenades. But almost you could easily, clip those off if you wanted. Because she does look like she has some kind of a, armor here on her shoulders. And the hood does have a nice neck articulation there. If I can get it to bend. She does feel a little stiffer than I'm used to, like I mentioned, for a Fortnite figure. But that's okay. Got the thigh swivel, double hinged knee, rocker, ankle, hinged wrists. And that's what I mean. I think the bang for your buck with Fortnite, you just can't go wrong. And the character selection. I had never played the game. I knew nothing about Fortnite. But I tend to try to buy the fantasy figures or the sci-fi looking ones. They don't do too many that are like, look more just military. They sort of fall into fantasy or sci-fi, and then they have like really just kind of funny, kitty kind of ones, I'll say, like a chicken guy and a banana guy, which, I don't really go for. But this is a really solid figure here. Glad that I found her. Only ever seen her the one time. That's only one Walmart has had this wave in my area. And I think I got the best of that wave. So that is it, guys. We opened up 5 figures. 4 different companies. I guess those 2 are both Hasbro, Spin Master, Joy Toy, and Jazzwares. And let's see, if I was going to rank them, I'd say, I think Hunter is probably the best, followed maybe by Isabelle, this Joy Toy figure. Lex is kind of going to fall to the end. I do like this G.I. Joe figure. I do like it. It's not without its flaws, though. So I think we would probably go like this. From my left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this is a pretty good figure. In fact, this is probably one of the best of these DC figures that I've gotten. They had a couple good Batman. And I think that this line excels with females like Catwoman, Batgirl, and Batwoman. I think that the female figures are where this line really hits the best. And these I'm always grabbing if I can find them. The Cobra Officer, the Cobra Trooper. I think the Destro is really, really good. And this guy's pretty good. But I think this Hunter is the best out of here, this line. And this is a great figure too if you can find it. I could see people army building her too. Why not? All right, guys, so that's the video. Went on kind of long, just chatting, just talking about different lines. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. I'm sure you guys do this kind of thing too at home. You probably don't record it. This is kind of my second time doing this. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.